You've been trained to be distracted. Every notification, every scroll, every meaningless task, they've stolen your focus and sold it back to you in fragments. But in the next 30 days that ends. You are about to retrain your brain, to enter deep work on command, to control your attention like a weapon, to live with purpose while others drown in noise. This is not motivation. This is rewiring. You're here to rebuild your focus. One system, one rule, one day at a time. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Stop chasing, start focusing. You've been told to chase everything. Chase success. Chase opportunity. Chase attention. But the truth is, the more you chase, the less you catch. Most people are trapped in motion. They move constantly, but they never move forward. Every day becomes noise disguised as progress. They confuse activity with achievement. And that's the trap. That's why you feel scattered. That's why you start 10 things and finish none. You're chasing everything and focusing on nothing. You have to stop chasing. You have to start focusing. Because focus is not about doing more. Focus is about cutting more. Every decision you make either sharpens your attention or splits it apart. Every yes you give to a distraction is a no to your purpose. That's the real cost, not your time but your direction. You need a focus filter. A mental checkpoint that asks one question before you act. Does this move me closer to mastery or does it pull me away? That's the filter. That's the system. If the answer is no, it doesn't exist in your day. If the answer is no, you don't touch it. You don't think about it. You move on. Less movement, more direction. Say it again, less movement, more direction. That's the law of focus. You don't need another goal. You don't need another plan. You need precision. You need to make your mind a weapon, aimed, steady, deliberate. Because here's the truth, chasing everything is easy. Focusing is hard. It requires discipline, not motivation. And that's why most people don't do it. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you here. Focus is built through decisions, not desires. You choose what matters and you cut what doesn't every single day. You have a choice. You can live as a collector of distractions, or you can live as a master of direction. You can either spread your attention thin, or concentrate it so deeply it cuts through anything in your way. That's the key. Focus turns chaos into order. It turns confusion into clarity. It turns average into mastery. But first, you have to face a truth. You are addicted to chasing. You chase notifications. You chase validation. You chase the next big thing before finishing the last small thing. You chase so you can avoid sitting still long enough to think. But stillness is where focus begins. Stillness is where direction becomes clear. You can't hit a target if you're always running past it. So here's your first task. Slow down. Stop filling every second with noise. Create white space in your day. Moments with no music, no phone, no scrolling, just stillness. That stillness will feel uncomfortable at first. That's normal. It's your brain detoxing from noise. Let it happen. Let your mind reset. Then use the focus filter. Every task, every message, every invitation, ask yourself, does this move me closer to mastery? If not, it's gone. This is how you take back control. This is how you rewire your focus. Not by doing more, but by doing less with more intensity. Real-world example. Look at elite athletes, world-class musicians, top entrepreneurs. They all share one trait. They don't chase everything. They specialize. They cut 99% of distractions and commit to mastery. The world tells you to be well-rounded. But the people who actually win, they go all in. They focus on one domain until they become undeniable. That's not obsession, that's precision. You have to decide what you're going to master. Pick one domain, one mission, one pursuit. Then eliminate everything that doesn't serve it. Because what you don't do matters more than what you do. Every distraction you delete is energy returned to your focus. Every no strengthens your yes. That's how you build deep work into your DNA. This is not about being perfect. It's about being deliberate. You're not trying to be busy. You're trying to be effective. You're not trying to impress. You're trying to progress. You don't need their permission. You don't need their validation. You need direction. And that comes from focus. So what does this look like practically? It means designing your environment for clarity. One desk, one screen, one task. Turn your workspace into a signal, not a circus. Start your day with intention. Before you touch your phone, decide your target. One priority, one deep session, one measurable result. That's how focus compounds. Not in grand gestures, but in consistent precision. Every day you focus, you strengthen the muscle. Every day you chase, you weaken it. And if you want proof that this works, look back on your own life. When did you make the most progress? When you scattered your energy? Or when you locked in on one thing until it worked? You already know the answer. You've already tasted that level of clarity. You just forgot how powerful it felt. So this chapter is your reset. It's the point where you stop chasing what's next and start perfecting what's now. Stop thinking you need more goals. You need fewer but deeper. You need focus, less movement, more direction. Say it again, less movement, more direction. That's your mantra for the next 30 days. You have a choice. You can chase dopamine or you can chase depth. You can collect distractions or you can collect results. You can live wide or you can live deep. And in a world obsessed with more, the few who master less will always win. So as we close this chapter, remember this. Focus is freedom. When you choose what deserves your energy, you reclaim your time, your attention, your life. You stop living by reaction and start living by intention. That's how you rewire your focus. That's how you train your brain for deep work on command. You just completed the first step. You stopped chasing. You started focusing. Now that your direction is clear, it's time to protect it. Because clarity means nothing without control. You mastered your distraction. Now let's talk about your environment. Chapter 2. Eliminate the noise. Noise kills focus. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. It kills you quietly. One distraction, one notification, one meaningless scroll at a time. You can't focus in chaos. You can't build depth in disorder. The first step to deep work isn't addition, it's subtraction. You don't need more tools, more hacks, or more productivity systems. You need less noise. That's the rule. Subtract before you add. If you want to rewire your focus, start by clearing the interference. Because your brain is not a storage device, it's a signal processor. When the signal is clear, performance soars. When the signal is noisy, you drown in confusion. Most people live inside that confusion every day. They wake up to noise. They eat noise. They fall asleep with noise. Then they wonder why their minds never feel still, sharp, or creative. You have to choose silence. You have to build an environment where clarity can breathe. Because focus is fragile, and noise destroys it fast. The greats know this. They protect their input like treasure. Navy SEALs, writers, CEOs, they all operate by the same principle. When it's time to perform, they eliminate the noise. Before a mission, a SEAL removes all clutter, all chatter, all distraction. Before writing, an author clears the desk, silences the phone, shuts the door. Before a high-stakes decision, a CEO disconnects from meetings and turns inward to think. They don't do this by accident. They do it because they know attention is oxygen. You can survive without comfort. You can survive without motivation. But you cannot perform without attention. Protect your attention like it's oxygen. Say it again, protect your attention like it's oxygen. Because it is. Noise isn't just sound, it's input. It's every unnecessary message, every shallow conversation, every piece of content that clogs your mental bandwidth. Every time you let that in, you give away your focus. Every time you give away your focus, you lose power. You don't need more information, you need more silence. You don't need more stimulation, you need more stillness. You have a choice. You can live as a consumer or you can live as a creator. Consumers drown in noise. Creators thrive in clarity. That's the difference. You can't create from a cluttered mind. You can't think deeply when you're constantly reacting. Every ping, every vibration, every headline, it fragments your attention. And the mind that's divided can't go deep. Here's the truth most people ignore. You are addicted to noise. It's not just the phone. It's the constant stimulation. You fear silence because silence exposes your thoughts. And your thoughts demand accountability. But accountability is where focus is built. Silence isn't the absence of sound, it's the presence of control. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, create an environment that honors your focus. Start with these steps. Step 1. Clean your workspace. No clutter. No chaos. Just clarity. One surface. One notebook. One tool. Physical order creates mental order. Step 2. Control your inputs. Unfollow accounts that don't add value. Mute notifications that don't serve your purpose. Check messages at fixed times, not constantly. Step 3. Schedule silence. 30 minutes a day. No devices. No music. No noise. Sit with your thoughts. Let your brain process what it's been fed. These are not small actions. They are rewiring triggers. Every time you remove noise, you strengthen your ability to focus. Every time you resist stimulation, you train your mind to go deeper. You're building discipline in silence. You're building control in stillness. Noise gives you the illusion of importance. Silence gives you the power of direction. You can't have both. Most people choose importance. They stay busy. They stay reactive. They stay online. But the ones who rise, the real builders, creators, and masters, they disappear. They vanish into silence to create something that will speak louder than they ever could. That's how deep work begins. In silence. In focus. In full control of your attention. Because focus is not what you do, it's what you protect. Protect your attention like it's oxygen. Protect your mind like it's sacred ground. You don't owe anyone your constant availability. You don't owe anyone your instant reply. You owe yourself your undivided attention. Think of your attention like currency. Would you give your money to every stranger you pass on the street? No. You'd guard it. You'd spend it wisely. Do the same with your focus. Every time you scroll mindlessly, you're spending focus. Every time you argue online, you're spending focus. Every time you say yes to noise, you're saying no to mastery. You don't need their permission to disconnect. You don't need their approval to go silent. You only need your decision. That's the key: intentional disconnection. The greats aren't more talented. They're just less distracted. They protect the signal. They filter the noise. They give their energy to what actually matters. And when they do, something shifts. Their mind clears, their work deepens, their results multiply. That's not magic. That's subtraction. So today, remove one source of noise. Just one. Delete one app. Say no to one pointless meeting. Cut one habit that doesn't serve your mission. Then tomorrow, remove another. And another. Because every subtraction brings you closer to clarity. And clarity creates momentum. This is how focus is built. Through discipline, not desire. Through silence, not stimulation. Through choice, not chance. You have a choice right now. Stay connected to everything or connect deeply to something. Live distracted or live directed. React or create. That's the dividing line. Noise or focus. Confusion or clarity. Mediocrity or mastery. You decide. And when you make that decision, make it final. You are not available to everything. You are not open to every input. You are focused on the few things that matter. Protect your attention like it's oxygen. Because once it's gone, nothing else matters. This is how you begin to build deep work on command. You clear the space. You guard the mind. You silence the noise. Only then can you go deep. Only then can you enter flow. Only then can you master your focus. You eliminated the noise. Now it's time to replace chaos with consistency. Because silence without structure fades fast. You mastered your environment. Now let's master your routine. Chapter 3. Build rituals, not motivation. Motivation is emotion. Rituals are systems. And only one of them is reliable. Motivation fades. Rituals repeat. That's the difference between people who start and people who sustain. If it's a ritual, it's repeatable. If it's motivation, it's temporary. Say it again. If it's a ritual, it's repeatable. If it's motivation, it's temporary. You've been told to wait for inspiration. To wait until you feel ready. That's why most people never start, and if they start, they never stay consistent. Motivation is emotional fuel. It burns fast. Rituals are mechanical power. They run forever. You don't need more energy, you need more systems. You don't need more inspiration, you need more repetition. You don't need to feel ready, you need to act consistently. That's how focus is built. That's how mastery is sustained. Motivation is loud at the start and silent when it matters most. Rituals are quiet but consistent, the silent force behind progress. You have a choice. You can live driven by emotion or directed by structure. You can keep waiting to feel like it, or you can train your body to act on command. That's the essence of discipline. You act regardless of mood. Because moods change. Systems don't. The elite don't rely on motivation. They build rituals that trigger performance automatically. Same desk. Same hour. Same cue. It's not random, it's rhythm. It's not luck, it's programming. Think about it. A professional athlete doesn't wait to feel inspired to train. A writer doesn't wait to feel creative to write. A surgeon doesn't wait to feel focused to operate. They rely on ritual. Their preparation is their trigger. Their process is their power. If it's a ritual, it's repeatable. And repeatability is the foundation of mastery. Here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your systems. So, build systems that make success automatic. Start small. Pick one consistent action and lock it into your day. It could be sitting at your desk at 7 a.m. sharp. It could be opening your notebook before your phone. It could be writing one page, reading 10 minutes, or planning the next day. The goal isn't intensity, it's identity. You're not trying to do more. You're trying to become the kind of person who shows up no matter what. Rituals remove emotion from execution. They turn I should into I do. They make progress predictable. Motivation makes you a victim of your feelings. Rituals make you a master of your actions. That's the shift. That's the rewire. If you can tie your focus to a ritual, a cue, a time, a pattern, you train your brain to enter deep work automatically. You no longer depend on energy. You depend on rhythm. That's what separates consistent performers from occasional achievers. Your brain loves patterns. When you repeat the same cues, the same place, the same time, it starts to anticipate focus. The ritual becomes the signal. Your mind enters flow faster because it recognizes what comes next. That's how deep work begins, not with willpower but with design. So ask yourself right now, what are your rituals? What systems protect your focus? What triggers your best state? If you don't know, then you're leaving your focus to chance. And chance never wins against chaos. You can't rely on how you feel. You must rely on what you've built. Create a ritualized start. One action that says, it's time to work. Could be lighting a candle. It could be putting your phone in another room. Could be sitting at your desk and opening your planner. It doesn't matter what it is, it matters that it's consistent. Because when your brain sees that cue, it prepares. It says, I know what happens next. That's when deep work becomes accessible. If it's a ritual, it's repeatable. If it's motivation, it's temporary. Repeat that until it becomes your code. Motivation can start you, but only ritual can sustain you. You can't build a strong mind on weak routines. You can't master focus on random effort. You need order. You need rhythm. You need repetition. Think of your day as a series of anchors, fixed points that stabilize your attention. Wake up at the same time. Work at the same time. Disconnect at the same time. These anchors train your mind that discipline is normal. Not punishment. Not perfection. Normal. When you repeat these cues enough, you no longer waste energy deciding what to do. You just do it. That's the magic of ritual. It saves energy for the work that matters. You have a choice. You can waste focus deciding or you can invest focus doing. You can live reactively or you can live rhythmically. That's why the world's top performers are creatures of habit. They don't reinvent the wheel every morning, they just roll it forward. Michael Jordan had the same warm-up sequence before every game. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day. Writers like Maya Angelou rented hotel rooms only for writing. No distractions, no decisions. Why? Because simplicity breeds consistency. And consistency breeds focus. If it's a ritual, it's repeatable. If it's motivation, it's temporary. You don't need to get inspired. You need to train your body and brain to act no matter what you feel. That's self-mastery. Every ritual is a vote for your future self. Every repeated pattern rewires your identity. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you prove something powerful, that you are in control. You don't need their permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need repetition, because repetition builds rhythm, and rhythm builds results. Stop chasing motivation. Start designing rituals. Motivation fades. Rituals endure. You don't need to wait for a good day. You make it a good day by starting the ritual that triggers your best state. That's the difference between a reactive mind and a focused one, between scattered effort and predictable success. So today, build one ritual. One small, consistent, repeatable action that tells your brain, we're in work mode now. Then do it again tomorrow. And again. Until it becomes automatic. If it's a ritual, it's repeatable. If it's motivation, it's temporary. You are not here to feel inspired. You are here to be consistent. You are here to rewire your focus, not when it's easy, but when it's necessary. And it starts with this: build rituals that make deep work automatic. You built your foundation. You learned to remove noise. You established rhythm. Now it's time to go deeper. You've trained your habits. Now you'll train your mind to stay there. You mastered your routine. Now let's master your depth. Chapter 4. Enter the deep work state. You've learned to cut the noise. You've learned to build ritual. Now it's time to go deeper. This is where true transformation begins. This is where average effort ends and mastery begins. This is the deep work state. Deep work is not about working harder. It's about working deeper, with total immersion, total clarity, and total control. It's the difference between surface progress and real growth. The difference between distraction and domination. Most people never experience it. They live in constant fragmentation, multitasking, reacting, jumping from one thing to another. Their attention is scattered and their results reflect it. But when you learn to enter deep work on command, everything changes. You accomplish in 1 hour what used to take 10. You create output that others can't match. You train your brain to obey focus, not impulse. That's the power of deep work, controlled immersion. To get there, you must understand focus layering. 3 layers, 3 levers. When you align them, your brain clicks into its highest state of concentration. The first layer is environment. The second layer is intention. The third layer is single task execution. When you master all 3, you enter deep work on command. Let's start with the first, environment. Your environment is the invisible hand that shapes your focus. You can't do deep work in a shallow space. If your environment is cluttered, your mind will be too. Every object in your space sends a message to your brain. Your phone says, check me. Your open tabs say multitask. Your clutter says you're not ready. You need a space that says one thing, work. That's why the elite design their environments for control. Writers have specific desks. Athletes have specific warm-ups. Artists have specific studios. Because environment triggers behavior. When you enter that space, your mind knows it's time. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. Same space, same time, same setup. That's how you layer focus, one signal at a time. Your brain obeys patterns. Build the right ones. Now the second layer, intention. You cannot go deep without a clear why. Your mind needs direction like a compass needs north. If you sit down without intention, you'll drift. And drift kills depth. Set one intention before every deep work session. One task, one outcome, one focus. Ask yourself, what is the single result I'm here to produce? Write it down. Say it out loud. Commit to it fully. Intention turns time into traction. Without it, effort scatters. That's why you must never start a deep work session with uncertainty. Unclear goals create unclear focus. And unclear focus produces unclear results. Your brain obeys patterns. Build the right ones. Now the third layer, single task execution. This is where most people fail. They try to do everything and end up doing nothing well. Multitasking is the illusion of productivity. You think you're being efficient, but you're splitting your power. Every task switch burns mental energy. Every interruption resets your focus clock. You can't go deep if you keep coming up for air. You can't master anything if you can't stay with it long enough. So here's your command, one task at a time. No exceptions. No split screens. No, just a quick check. Your phone is not a tool in this moment, it's a trap. Put it out of reach. Your notifications are not updates, they're interruptions. Mute them all. You're not doing deep work until you remove the exits. That's how you isolate the mind. That's how you lock into immersion. Which brings us to the deep work protocol, 3 steps that activate total focus. Step 1, isolate. Physically and digitally remove all distractions. Close tabs. Silence devices. Step into a dedicated space. When you isolate, you send your brain a single message. This is sacred time. Step 2, immerse. Set a timer for an uninterrupted block, 60, 90, or 120 minutes. No multitasking. No switching. No checking. Let your attention sink until you forget time exists. That's immersion, the flow state where everything else disappears. Step 3, sustain. The hardest part isn't starting deep work, it's staying there. Your brain will resist. It will crave stimulation. You must push past the urge to check, to quit, to switch. Remember, focus is a muscle. Sustain it and it grows. Break it and it weakens. Your brain obeys patterns. Build the right ones. When you repeat this protocol, isolate, immerse, sustain, you train your mind for command focus. You'll begin to enter deep work faster each time. Your transitions from chaos to clarity will shrink. Your endurance will expand. At first, it'll feel unnatural. You'll itch for distraction. That's normal. It means your brain is detoxing from noise. Stay with it. Each deep session reprograms you. Your job isn't to fight distraction, it's to out-train it. The more you practice focus layering, the more automatic it becomes. Environment, intention, single task execution, 3 layers, 1 outcome. You don't need to work longer, you need to work deeper. You don't need to think harder, you need to think clearer. Depth is the new speed. Clarity is the new productivity. When you're fully immersed, you stop fighting time, you start bending it. Hours shrink. Progress expands. That's the deep work state. You'll notice something else too, peace. When you're truly focused, anxiety fades. Because anxiety lives in divided attention. But focus lives in unity. In the deep work state, there's no room for noise. There's no space for self-doubt. There's only you and the work. Complete presence. Complete command. That's mastery. That's what you're training for. Your brain obeys patterns. Build the right ones. Build patterns that reward focus. Build patterns that reject distraction. Build patterns that create depth by default. This is not just about productivity, it's about identity. You are training your brain to obey your direction. You are teaching yourself that when it's time to work, you go deep, automatically. The shallow chase convenience. The focus chase command. Choose command. So here's your assignment. Tomorrow, schedule 1 deep work block. Set your environment. Define your intention. Execute 1 task. No distractions. No noise. No multitasking. Follow the protocol. Isolate, immerse, sustain. Do this once and you'll feel the shift. Do it daily and you'll rewire your mind. Your brain obeys patterns. Build the right ones. You've learned to go deep. Now it's time to guard that depth. Because what good is mastery if you give it away to everyone who asks for your attention? You mastered your focus. Now let's master your boundaries. Chapter 5. Master the art of saying no. Every yes steals from your future. Every yes costs energy, attention, and time. And the truth is simple. Most of your progress doesn't come from what you start. It comes from what you refuse. Discipline is the art of exclusion. The ability to say no, again and again, is the highest form of focus. You don't rise by adding more. You rise by subtracting what doesn't serve your purpose. That's the quiet skill of every master. They don't chase. They don't juggle. They protect their time like treasure. Saying no is not rejection. It's precision. It's choosing what truly matters. It's rejecting the noise to protect the depth. You need to understand this. Focus dies in the hands of a people pleaser. If you say yes to every request, every meeting, every distraction, you will never have the space to go deep. Every yes is a withdrawal from your energy bank. And once it's gone, it's gone. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Spend it with intent. Guard it like it's oxygen. That's your daily command. Reject noise. Protect depth. Let's look at the real world. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in history, built his empire on one principle: focus through elimination. He calls it the anti-busy rule. Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything." Think about that. Not most things. Almost everything. That's not arrogance. That's discipline. That's clarity. That's someone who understands that time, once spent, cannot be reclaimed. He guards his calendar like a fortress. He doesn't fill it with noise. He fills it with purpose. Every no is a yes to something greater. A yes to deep work. A yes to mastery. A yes to peace of mind. You need to start filtering your life the same way. Every task, every request, every invitation. Ask one question: does this move me closer to mastery, or does it distract me from it? If it doesn't move you forward, it doesn't belong in your day. If it doesn't align with your purpose, it doesn't deserve your time. That's not selfish, that's self-respect. That's how focus survives in a distracted world. Most people say yes because they fear rejection. They fear missing out. They fear what others will think if they decline. But here's the truth. Saying yes to everything is the fastest way to lose yourself. You can't live with purpose if you're living for approval. You can't grow deeply if you're stretched thin. When you say yes to everything, you dilute your power. When you say no to the wrong things, you multiply it. That's the math of mastery. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. You'll feel guilt. You'll feel pressure. You'll fear that you're letting people down. But understand this. Every no you give to the outside world is a yes to your inner focus. You're not shutting people out, you're tuning yourself in. You're not rejecting opportunity, you're refining it. Reject noise. Protect depth. The greatest performers, athletes, artists, thinkers, all share one trait: ruthless prioritization. They cut everything that isn't aligned with their mission. Michael Jordan didn't say yes to everything. He said yes to practice. Yes to performance. Yes to greatness. And no to everything that didn't serve that. Steve Jobs once said, "Focus is about saying no." He understood that innovation doesn't come from endless activity, it comes from disciplined simplicity. That's your path. Simplicity through strength. Clarity through refusal. You don't need more tools. You don't need more advice. You need less clutter. Less input. Less noise. Because when you strip away the unnecessary, what remains is power. So how do you do it? How do you master the art of saying no without guilt or hesitation? Here's the 3-step framework. Pause. Filter. Decide. Step 1. Pause. Never respond instantly. Urgency is the enemy of focus. Take a breath. Take a beat. Create space before committing. That moment of pause gives your mind control instead of impulse. Step 2. Filter. Run every request through your focus filter. Does this align with my goals? Does this move me closer to mastery? Does this protect my energy or drain it? If the answer is no, you already have your answer. Step 3. Decide. Say no directly. No justifications. No excuses. No long explanations. A clear, "No, I can't commit to that right now," is more powerful than a half-hearted yes. Clarity is confidence. That's how you train yourself to lead your time, not be led by it. Reject noise. Protect depth. Your brain obeys patterns. Build the right ones. The more you say no to distractions, the easier it becomes. Your nervous system adapts. Your confidence grows. You stop feeling guilt. You start feeling control. And control is focus. Control is freedom. Control is power. So many people dream of focus, but few are willing to defend it. They protect their money more than their attention. They guard their possessions more than their purpose. But you're different. You're learning to guard your focus like your future depends on it. Because it does. Every no you say today buys you clarity tomorrow. Every no you say today builds the foundation for deep work tomorrow. Every no you say today frees you to say a more powerful yes when it truly matters. Reject noise. Protect depth. That's the mindset of mastery. That's the discipline of purpose. That's the mindset that rewires your brain for focus. So as you close this book, I want you to remember this. You don't owe anyone your time. You owe yourself your future. You owe your purpose your full attention. Say no to the noise. Say yes to the mission. Say yes to depth. Say yes to mastery. Because this is where the rewiring is complete. This is where distraction dies. This is where your new focus begins. Reject noise. Protect depth. This is your next command. This is your next chapter, not of the book but of your life. You've trained your focus. You've built your rituals. You've entered deep work. And now you've learned to guard it. That's the full circle of self-mastery. That's what makes you unstoppable. Now go protect your focus, because no one else will. Reject noise. Protect depth. And go create something that matters.